Thank you,
Sure
Greg.
is a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Have a seat. It's all right with y'all if we get comfortable for just a minute?
I hope you weren't expecting a speech. Someone said that when I was coming in, that we're here and look forward to your speech tonight, Greg. And I knew we were going to do this format, and I hope you're not disappointed. The dinner was fantastic, so I hope no one asked for a refund tonight. But it is a...
They're not going to get one.
It doesn't work that way, huh? I will tell you, Greg, it's a great honor, and I really appreciate your invitation came probably, what did we say, 8 or 9 months ago to come tonight and participate, and it's a great honor to get to be here. I do want to say, I know it has been said a few times, but 90 years, what a fantastic accomplishment for the community, but for the Chamber to be celebrating 90 years here as this Chamber is just an outstanding accomplishment in itself. And all of you that have been involved in it for a number of years, I really congratulate. We thought 50 years was something at Walmart, and so we've got some more ways to go to get to that. The Chamber does play a very, very important role in a community. You know, I think it plays an important role from business, economic growth, jobs, but what I really think about most of all is just a great place to live also. So from Walmart's perspective, the Chamber is very, very important. You know, I think back, we all know store number 1 was in Rogers, Arkansas, opened. Yep. It's interesting, I was looking back at some trivia. Opened, of course, 50 years ago because we are 50 years old this year. And it all started right here in store number 1 in Rogers. What many of you might not know, store number 1, we have a lot of numbers at Walmart, so you will excuse me if I use even numbers, but the first store was about 35,000 square feet. If you don't know the size, that's smaller than the neighborhood market next door. And there were about 25 associates that first year that worked in Walmart store number 1. Now, of course, store 1, after relocations, expansions, store 1 is over 200,000 square feet. And not only those, associates, over 500 associates that work in local store 1, but I really think what's more important is that became the foundation of what today is Walmart, a company, of course, worldwide, about $440 billion in sales and over 2 million associates. So from the first 25 associates that worked at Walmart to now over 2 million associates worldwide, and it all started right here in Rogers, Arkansas in store 1. You know, I said a place to live, Greg, and Susan and I, and we've known each other for years. You know, what we love about this area is just the quality of life, living here in Rogers and in Northwest Arkansas. I do have to take it started in spring of 1995 for us. Susan and I came down for that interviewing weekend. Many of you have made a trip to Arkansas at some point from somewhere else in the country. You did.
I did.
And visited and come on this interviewing trip. We had a fantastic weekend, and I immediately fell in love with Walmart. But Susan and I both fell in love with Rogers and the area. I think about that. It's funny how I can remember certain things, and it was spring of 95, so 17 years ago. Some of the things I remember like it was yesterday. Like, I do remember the Saturday morning meeting. I remember some of the questions in my interviews. I remember even coming to lunch on that Saturday at Pinnacle Country Club. I thought that was the fanciest country club I'd ever seen. And I think what probably I remember most, though, because we also wanted to understand the community, we had asked if we could attend church on Sunday morning. Pastor Vaughn, we attended the Central United Methodist Church. And on the square at that time in Rogers, I happen to remember the message was on the 23rd Psalm. So now there are things that I can't remember about yesterday, but I can remember the message on that Sunday morning back in the spring of 1995. And I think that might give you an indication about how Susan and I fell in love with this area and the people of Rogers and Northwest Arkansas on that very, very first trip.
Well, I would say for myself and Dawn, and I'm sure this entire room, we are absolutely thrilled that you fell in love with Rogers, Arkansas, and stayed here. Mike, you've mentioned that this is the 50th year, and so there are older companies, probably hard to find more successful companies. In 50 years, what do you think it was? What was the secret? What made Walmart the kind of company that it's become?
Well, that's an easy question. I was hoping, Greg, I'd get some easy ones tonight. I get interviews like this, and they're not always so easy, and that's a good start because that one is an answer that I give frequently. The real secret formula for Walmart from the very, very beginning was the culture of the company, the character, the values, the foundation that Walmart was created on. And, I again go back to the founder, Sam Walton, and I also have to give tremendous credit to Miss Helen. And I think the Walton family had a set of values and character that helped to create the culture of Walmart. And, we speak about this, those that work at Walmart and those that are affiliated know that this is something that rolls off the tip of our tongue about our basic beliefs, our foundation of integrity, wanting to do the right thing. And this is not new. This is the foundation of culture that I really think goes back to the founder and the very, very beginning. And I believe that's what creates a great company. You can have a great business model, and believe me, Sam Walton had a great business model. But there have been other great business models that did not succeed, and I think sometimes it can be for other reasons, but what I think has been the greatest foundation of Walmart that has led to success has been the culture, the character, the values of the company.
Yeah. And having had the experience of being part of that organization for a period of time, I couldn't agree more. It was one of the things that actually drew me to Walmart and Sam's Club was just that that culture of respect, and it was remarkable, I think. And the fact that you all over the course of 50 years have been able to keep that spirit alive, I think, is a true testament to the leadership and to your leadership. Speaking of Sam, you had sort of similar sort of background in terms of you were from a small Georgia town, and you have navigated a career to a place where you're now the CEO of the largest company in the world. What's that story? How did you get here?
Well, I'm not sure I like to give any kind of parallel to Sam Walton because I have such respect and honor for Sam Walton. But, I think in reading the story of Sam Walton and his book, Made in America, and, so much of the other foundation of his own upbringing and I think the foundation of Walmart, I think maybe there are some things that I have been blessed to have some similarities. I actually didn't grow up in a small town. I grew up about 8 miles from a small town because it's how I remember numbers. The population of my town in Georgia was 1,000. The population of the whole county was 7,000, and there were 84 students in my graduating senior class, and that covered the whole county. And I had to get all the way into town of 1,000 to get to my school. But I grew up out in a rural area, very, very hard-working family. My mother still lives in the house that I grew up in, and so it was kind of a very small farm. To those of you that are really into farming, you would not call it a farm. You might call it a big garden. But but my dad was a truck driver, and so work ethic and family values and really a lot of the real core character and values. I give my credit to my parents, my family, the local Methodist church, the school teachers, and others that I think helped me as I was going through childhood to I guess, high school and college. There's so many I give credit to. Those of you involved in education, I applaud. I've said many times my high school physics teacher, Mr. McDaniel, who recommended going to Georgia Tech, studying engineering, and then working in the service industry, such as retailing. For him to have the foresight, to be able to tell me that back in that small town in Georgia. And then, I did that. I did exactly as he said. I only applied to one school. I only had one major, and I've only worked in one business, which has been retail business. And getting started in retailing, understanding that it really is about people. Even though I studied engineering, I really enjoy people. And I love competition. I love fast pace and all the things that goes with retailing. And it just happened to be a perfect fit. Mm-hmm. So I think when I found Walmart in 1995, that was the real perfect fit, is when we had a chance to move here and I started to work at Walmart.
Okay. So maybe just change the focus here just a little bit. If you think about the number of folks that are in this room that are either engaged in business, own their own small business, various different sizes of business represented out here. Everybody's got the economy on their mind. And what's going on with the economy, what's going on with the customer. Would be curious to just hear your perspective on where you think things are and where you think they're going.
Well, I do get out all around the United States. Someone asked me if I traveled this week, and at first I said no. And then I had to say, well, actually, Monday morning I was in San Francisco, and Tuesday I was in California. I came back Tuesday night because I think of the United States really as home. And I do get all around the U.S. Most weeks I'm out somewhere, and I'm really talking to Walmart customers in our stores, and I think I really get a somewhat of maybe a better feel of the real strength of our country when I'm out talking to real people, better than I am when I'm at home watching news. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, Greg, I think there's still a lot of concerns across the country. Jobs and the pressure on our core customers that are still working to get through paycheck to paycheck or month to month. And I do think there's still pressure there. Mm. The rising cost of fuel, when a family has to spend $20 more a month than to put fuel in their car to drive back and forth to work, that's $20 that they don't have to spend on something else. So there is, we see it even in the way we run our business. This year we introduced layaway. We had reintroduced it because we had stopped doing layaway back a number of years ago, but we had so many customers that said, we need layaway. We don't have credit, and we need a way to be able to buy product. So we reintroduced it, and the very first week, we were just overwhelmed with the sales from customers who needed layaway, and we were really pleased that we could do that. So that gives an indication of still the economic pressure on our customers. I think that we want to be optimistic as a business leader. I want to be optimistic. I think our customers are looking for something to be more optimistic about, because this is a great country. No one should ever give up on the United States of America. And frankly, we're going to build the foundation and be the greatest for many, many years. But we are going through a difficult time, and it's most difficult for, I think, those Walmart core customers across the United States that I get to visit with when I'm out. I will tell you one interesting story, because this is, I guess, what I enjoy most about my job. I do enjoy things like this, by the way. But what's even more fun is when I'm out traveling, and like I did about 3 weeks ago, I was in New Mexico for a couple of days, and I visited a customer in her home. She didn't know what job I have or who I was. I went as though, and I'm doing consumer research. And I had a couple other people from our marketing area. We visit her in her home so she can tell us how she's getting through day by day and week by week. She's a customer that works part-time cleaning homes, and her husband has some work, but they are under this economic stress. And she operates with pure cash, and she operates from week to week by budgeting cash and operating with cash in her household and allocating. So she and her husband work out how they spend the limited cash they've got. I do that kind of thing for two reasons. One, because I feel like it's my responsibility, my job, to really truly understand our customers that are shopping in our stores. I think I have another reason. I think it's because then I can appreciate my own blessings even more when I can be with those that might not be as fortunate or as blessed as I've been in life.
Yeah, you bet. Mike, I wonder if you wouldn't mind spending just a few minutes on Walmart U.S. Been a tough couple of years. Just released fourth quarter earnings. Street didn't appear to take that all that well. probably not as well as you'd hope that they would, and I thought maybe you'd just comment a little bit about where you think the Walmart U.S. is.
I'm really, really pleased with the progress. Bill Simon leads the Walmart U.S. team, and the strength of leadership has just never been stronger. But what I'm really pleased is the momentum from quarter to quarter. If you look back, we report, of course, information on a quarterly basis. So you can dial back to the first quarter last year, and the second quarter was better. The third quarter was even better, and the fourth quarter was even better. So the consecutive improvement in sales, in store traffic, just over the fourth quarter, the holiday season, we call it comp store traffic growth. What that means is we had more customers shopping in our store than we did the year before, and the great thing is they also spent more money. The average transaction was higher. So I think the Walmart U.S. team, with putting product back in the stores, getting the right product in the stores, we added back a lot of inventory, a lot of SKUs that had been deleted a few years earlier. A lot of things that sometimes the stores may seem crowded again. I like it that way. I like the product in the store for customers to buy, and I do believe that is helping. That's interesting. You mentioned the street, Greg. We really manage the business for our customers, and we do it in a way that we look out long term. We're not trying to get through a week or a month at a time or even a quarter at a time. We're looking out long term, and our real premise of our business is to reduce the retail prices for our customers, even if that means lower gross margin profit. That's what we did. We've signaled that that's what our game plan is. At Walmart, we call it the productivity loop. We plan to lower expenses, lower prices, and by doing that, we think it brings more traffic to the store, more customers, and they'll buy more. In the long run, we think that that's the way to grow the business, and in the long run, the shareholders will be rewarded also. So we manage the business starting with our customers, and lowering prices is exactly what we did in the fourth quarter, and we're proud of it.
So you'd say you're on track and the productivity loop is back and it's working.
Exactly. It's working the way that we anticipated and would want it to work.
That's outstanding. What about international Sam's Club businesses? Anything that you might share in terms of what you think those outlooks are?
I sure will. Really proud. Let me start with Sam's, because I hope everyone here is a member of Sam's also. And if not, we could probably help after the meeting.
I bet there's somebody right over here
quickly here,
Yeah, right.
But you hopefully have heard Sam's has had really good momentum now for a couple of years. All across the United States, we've had really sequential growth in our Sam's business. And Sam's has had a real focus on quality, but also on value, on prices. A lot of emphasis on fresh areas like the produce and areas. So the Sam's business has just really, really been rolling. We've been growing membership and growing traffic and sales. So I think the sequential sales growth at Sam's and profit growth of Sam's has been something to really be proud of. We have a new resident of Northwest Arkansas. Rosalind Brewer is in the process of moving out from Atlanta. Rosalind was promoted to be the new president and CEO of Sam's Club, and she is in the transition and already hit the ground running, and is going to keep building on the momentum at Sam's. And I know that many of you already know Rosalind. She's just an outstanding talent that was promoted from the Walmart business. International business, you ask about, and obviously I have a lot of real personal feelings about the international area, because I spent a number of years leading the international business. And it for me is so rewarding to travel the world and to see how Walmart is helping people live better in countries all over the world. I think, I visited customer homes in India, China, Costa Rica, and there is no more gratification than you can receive in life than if you can see how maybe the job that you have is an ability to help people live better. And so when we say save money, live better, it can mean one thing here in Rogers, Arkansas. It takes on a whole new meaning in many of the markets around the world. And even last year, about this time, I was in South Africa. And, it's nice to be in the office buildings and that, what was even more rewarding was walking the townships like in Soweto and seeing the people that we could help live better. And now that we also made the acquisition of the majority interest of a great company in South Africa called Massmart, we're now off to a very fast start. I guess I visited in March. We made announcements later in the spring and summer. We closed on it, the transaction, in the fall. Already several months into that, and Massmart is showing a lot of those Walmart strategies of helping their customers live better, and it's a really, really great story. I think it can have a chance. We operate in a number of sub-Saharan countries and in Africa, and it's a way that we can help hundreds of millions of people, I think, live better in Africa as we're doing in other countries. So international is a great story. It's it's interesting, the numbers again. I go back sometimes to trivia. The year that Mr. Walton's last year alive, the company sales were $43 billion. I said this year will be about 440. We just closed out at a little over 440. Be more than that this year we just begun. But the international business outside the United States, Walmart, just wrapped up the year at $125 billion outside the United States. And so it's amazing. We do 3 times the volume outside the United States now that we did, the last year that Sam Walton was here. And, I think Sam Walton would be so proud of our associates all around the world that are helping to take his vision to other countries around the world.
Yeah, you bet. One last question. What's the next 50 look like?
It's interesting also because I do spend a lot of time on that too. That's actually why I was in San Francisco this week. We have a fantastic team in San Bruno, California, in Silicon Valley. We've made a number of acquisitions, recruited some phenomenal talent, and building a world-class technology team in the area of e-commerce that's based and headquartered there because of the, I guess you'd say, the foundation. We felt it was important there to really be connected with the technology offices in the Silicon Valley area. So I do think the next 50 years, no company is better positioned than Walmart to serve customers for the next 50 years. I think the investments in technology, so understanding social networking, how customers are using mobile work communication, iPhones, and all of the other technologies that are now available, but also being a global company so we can bring the best ideas from the best people, and we can take the best products from the United States and have those products and those services that we here have available to customers all over the world. So I see nothing but just great days ahead. I believe the very, very best days for Walmart associates, and for Walmart customers are actually ahead of us.
Very good. Mike, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you. We appreciate you
much.
visiting with us.
Really appreciate it.
Please appreciate Mike.
Thank you.